time for a chat with Pat, and boy, am I excited about your guest this morning, Pat.
Dave, you've got to expand your horizons. It's just me.
It's always my favorite, I have to say. I love them all, but yeah.
So I want to kind of reflect on, I was reading again a brief meditation by Pope Benedict XVI, and a phrase kind of jumped out at me. And I really spent some time thinking about it, what it means in my life. And the phrase is quite simple. God is. Now, most people might say God is what? Father, Son, good, loving, creator. We could go on and on to fill in the blank. But Pope Benedict just wrote, God is. I stopped trying to fill in the blank, and I just sat with it for a while. And throughout the day, I'd return to it. God is. It is really a statement of belief. If I say God is, I'm saying God exists. God's a reality, and if that's true, it has to impact my life. When I teach, I always tell my students that we can say we believe something, but we know we really believe it when we have to act on it in some way. Like, I believed my husband loved me when he proposed to me, but what if I just ignored his proposal and went on with my life? Would my actions have indicated that I really didn't believe he loved me and wanted to marry me? Or let's take another idea, like something as simple as following a sports team, right? If I say I love the Cleveland Guardians, like Mr. Finn does, and I'm a big fan, but I never watch them or listen to them or even read the stats to see if they're winning, then am I a big fan? If I say God is, which means I believe he exists, can I just go on with my life like he doesn't matter? Today we hear Jesus ask Simon Peter, do you love me more than these? More than anything else? My plans, my goals, what I want in life, what I love. Once again, Pope Benedict XVI enlightens us. If we say God is, that means that there is a sovereign truth and a law about all our goals and interests. Oh, above all our goals and interests. Wait a minute. Pope Benedict, are you saying that there's something above what I think and should consult before I make my life choices and goals? He goes on with his insights. There is a value in things that are valueless from our earthly perspective. Okay, we're challenged again. What does the earth see as having no value or little value? The innocent child in the womb, the sick and the dying, especially at the end of life, the mentally ill or homeless, the prisoner. These are just to name a few, but these are people who may be seen as having no value. But what about our approaches to life, such as the virtues of humility, kindness? Do they have value in the world? Or are you just considered a fool if you don't elevate power, money, and status? Pope Benedict then reminds us there is the adoration of God himself, the true adoration that protects us from the dictatorship of our goals, and that one is able to protect us from the dictatorship of idols. God is. When I truly proclaim that God is, then that means nothing can be adored but him. Nothing can take the place of God. My goals, my dreams, God is. And if God is, then I'm created by him. He has willed me into being and has destined me for eternity. Pope Benedict reminds us that we're not the result of chance or of a struggle for existence that brings victory to the practice of the strong. No, we are the product of God's creative love. So to say God is, how does that change my life? It must change everything. The way I interact with my family and friends, at work, I have a purpose given to me by God. I just need to stay close to God so that I don't try to make my goals God's goals. I think one way to do that is to ask, what happens if this goal or plan I have that I believe comes from God does not work out the way I had hoped? If you hang on to it and have a plan that has to be your way, maybe it's not from God, but it's from you. If you can let it go and detach from it and say, it's yours, God, because maybe I'm making this about what I want, what I think has to happen, the way I want it to happen, then I'm not trusting you. In today's gospel, we hear Jesus tell Peter, someone else will dress you and lead you where you do not want to go. Peter let go of his plans. He told the Lord he loved him more than these, more than any dreams or plans that he had. The Lord's plan became Peter's plan. This was the proclamation of faith and trust. And Pope Benedict tells us that faith is uncomfortable, but only because it challenges us, compels us to let ourselves be led where we do not wish to go. By doing this, we open the door to true life. And that's difficult to do, but our plans and our dreams are just that, ours. The real question is whether they are God's. So don't make your plans, your goals, into your idols, because God is. So what do you think, gentlemen?
I love it. I think of I am, when he says I am.
Yeah.
And they're scratching their heads. Wait a minute. Now I get it. Now I get it.
That's right. And I just really do think so often we say we believe something, but until the rubber meets the road, I don't think we really know if we believe it. It's kind of like, we say we believe in God, but then I don't know if we really act that way, or when things come our way, do we go to the Lord and say, look, I don't understand this, but I'm going to trust you in this. I think we just constantly think that God wants what we want instead of wanting what God wants.
You're right.
And I think that's so clear today in the gospel. That the Lord is telling Peter, it's not going to be, you say you love me, but it's going to be ugly at the end. I mean, you're going to be taken places you don't want to go, kind of foretelling that he's going to be martyred.
Well, and that's why we need to pray for that theological virtue of faith. I mean, every day, Lord, increase my faith, because faith is the foundation of everything. And if you don't have that faith, then when you really need it, you're going to be out of luck.
Yeah, and I think you make a good point, Ron, that idea that no matter how much faith you think you have, you should always be praying for an increase.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we might think, hey, look at me, I'm going to church, and I pray to God, but living the Christian life is hard. And so we have to keep asking for an increase in faith, because that's what helps us trust the Lord with our life.
Lord, I do believe.
That's
Help
right.
my unbelief.
You got it. You got it.
Man.
It's all yours, Lord.